In this video, I'm going to talk about the 10 things I wish I knew before I became an artist in my 50s. If you're thinking of starting an art hobby, or maybe you've just started and you really need some help, I want to get you set up for success. So I'm sharing my top 10 things I wish I'd known before I got started. So in no particular order, but it kind of is. Starting with number 10. Starting with any art medium and switching to another one is easy. Yeah, I didn't realize this. I figured when you become an artist, if you're an oil painter, that's it. You're going to learn oil paint, you're going to master it, and then to move on to something else, you got to move on to that. When you do, you got to master it before you move on to the next one. It doesn't have to work that way. It can, but that's painful. So let's do it the simple way. Start, dabble, do a little bit. If you're not keen on it, try another one. The supplies and the techniques to start are very simple and inexpensive. Here's a hint. If you do switch to something else, don't throw those other supplies away because you'd be surprised at what you come back around to. Number 9, you won't be good. You just won't. Accept it. Bring that into your heart. You will not be good. You have to ditch the perfectionism because it will bog you down and slow you down and frustrate you more than anything. Accept and embrace the fact that when you first put paint or pen to paper or canvas, it's probably not going to be a Mona Lisa. Think about this. If you're looking to art as a hobby, hobbies are supposed to be fun. They're not supposed to be frustrating. They're not supposed to be annoying. They're not supposed to keep you up at night worrying about, did I put the right color in the right spot? Have fun with this and enjoy the process and look at your progress along the way. You'll be surprised at how quickly you can improve, which is a good lead in to number 8. Some of you may not want to hear this, but my advice, this is one of the best pieces of advice I can give any beginner artist, is learn to sketch early on. I know I was so intimidated by this. I'm like, I don't draw. I don't know. Freaking out internally. Like, I can't do this. No, this is not me. However, once I put my fears aside, put on my big girl pants, and just started, it wasn't that bad. I want you to think about this. When you hear me say you need to learn to sketch, are you envisioning reproducing the Mona Lisa? If so, that can go out of your head. This is not what we're aiming for. Can you draw a circle and a line and maybe another line, maybe another circle? That can be a sketch. It can be that simple. That's why I'm here, to help you navigate that stuff. You got this. Don't worry. I got your back. Number 7, spend where you can and save where you need to. When you're purchasing your supplies and your tools, every art medium is going to be different in where you should spend your money and where you can save. If you have an unlimited budget, it doesn't matter. Have fun. Enjoy. Show me your art haul. I'm good with that. But if you have to pinch pennies here or there, or you need to be mindful of where you're spending your money, when you go through the Get Started videos, which I'll put a link to that playlist below. If you go through the Get Started videos, it's going to help you decide where to spend your money and where to save in each of the art mediums. Number 6, practice daily or get some type of a schedule going. When you practice daily, your skills automatically get better and better and better. The repetition is the strength that you need to become a really good artist. You're building that muscle memory. So as much as you can, try to practice daily. If you can't do it daily, set yourself a schedule. You might choose Saturday afternoon from 1 to 2 p.m. Then do that, but be consistent because consistency is how you get better and better. Ask any professional athlete about that. Number 5, have a sketchbook. And when I say sketchbook, I think people have a vision of, once again, a book with a pencil and you're doing the Mona Lisa. That's not necessarily what we're talking about. A sketchbook is simply a diary of your art. It's a place for you to practice. It's a place for you to be completely honest. Doesn't matter how bad or good it is, you're the only one who's going to see it. The good thing about having a sketchbook is being able to look back at what you had done and see how far you've come. And I've noticed with my own sketchbooks, I'm having fun going through and seeing what I did a week, a month, a year ago, even. I see my own development starting, and it's just fun to look at. I've got sketching, I've got colored pencils, I've got watercolor, I've got flowers, I've got bugs, I've got all kinds of, I got trees. I even have a pot plant. Yeah, there's a story there. But there is a pot plant in one of my sketchbooks. Definitely will save that for a story time. All silliness aside, be sure to get yourself a sketchbook. You will be glad that you did. This leads in a little bit to number 4, which is to take notes and journal and date your masterpieces in your sketchbook, even outside of your sketchbook. I started doing this because in the beginning I wasn't. So mostly in my sketchbook, as soon as I sat down to do anything, if I was practicing with some gel pens or if I was practicing with colored pencils or some new watercolor paint, the first thing I would do is put the date at the top of the page. And as I was going along, I would put down what supplies I'm using or testing, because chances are, especially since this is geared to people over 50, you're going to forget what it was. And also, you can jot some notes down and say, oh, I like this about this, and I don't like this about this. So you can refer back to what you had done, and that'll help you in the future should you choose to use the supplies again. Number 3 is to photograph your good stuff. And that might seem really strange, but let me tell you, I started in acrylic paint and doing pours and abstract stuff. I was working on large canvases. And there are some pieces now that are hanging on my walls right now that I look at and I think, you know what? I didn't actually take photographs of these, and I wish I had. Because down the road, should you discover that your piece is good enough to sell, you can do reprints if you have a photograph, a good photograph, a really good photograph. It's definitely worth doing. Number 2, this is around creating structure, but it's about also finding mentors. So as you're putting together your plan of what you're going to do, I spoke of creating structure and building the habits before, but finding mentors to follow is also a very, very good idea. I kind of went all over the place, all over YouTube. Oh, check this one, check that one. And I've learned a lot. And I found some wonderful creators. You should do the same thing. Be intentional about what you're looking for when you're doing your search in YouTube, and watch a lot of different people to see whose technique or style you really vibe with. Feel free to put me at the top of that list. And the number one thing I wish I had known before I started is don't give up or jump back in. Do not take long breaks. If you are in a slump, if you are having a hard time, if you are frustrated, don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. Put your stuff aside and walk away, but do not walk away for too long. Jump back in as soon as you can. Whatever you need to do to reframe and get back on the horse to ride, do that. I'm here to help you with that too. That's what this channel is for. It's support. Ask your questions. Put them in the comments below or on any of the videos that I've got. And be sure that you start binge watching that Get Started playlist. It is really going to help you out with a lot of these things we just discussed. Thanks for watching. And until next time, happy creating. Bye for now.